feel is a safe spot?
Well, if you just make room for it,
Yeah,
I usually just probably usually at the end of the program,
yeah,
just put it there, and then your stack is typically below that. And then then after all your variables, then just say like 16 bytes, 32 bytes, whatever you think you
yeah,
need for your stack, and then put your stack
yeah.
there. But yeah, load A and store A I use a lot. If
Yeah,
I
Okay.
using the stack a lot is something you do a lot with C as well. C and C2 assembler
Yeah,
interfacing. The thing that's more important to me, rather than worrying about where you put the data bytes, the data, is managing the registers, managing the register pairs, the regular registers and the alternate registers.
yeah.
They're very powerful, but you have to be careful and use them very sparingly. Like only use them on interrupts, as long as interrupts are disabled.
Yeah.
That's to me that's the best place to use the secondary register sets.
Okay. Well, right now I'm sticking with 8080. I don't. Is there secondary sets in the 8080? I didn't.
No,
I thought there was DE. So I'm limited to the DE, HL, BC, and then the accumulator A. So I've been
That's
with my
about
little
it.
with my program. I've been juggling this, and then when I run into problems, I'm back to, okay, here I stored this onto the stack. I stored this. Okay, I'm popping it out of here. Because like I said, I've been reluctant to choose a spot in memory, but I guess the rest of the memory is kind of there for me to use anyways. It's not
yeah,
like something else is going to bump into it. So,
yeah. If you're
uh,
using the assembler rather than hand coding, it's pretty
yeah,
easy to set up all your data after the last byte of your program. You just
yeah.
change
Yeah, I
you just change
typically Yeah, I
Go
don't
ahead.
like pushing and popping stuff off the stack. It gets too. I mean, unless it like makes sense, like you're right here, you're just gonna like push BC for a sec, do something, pop it off. But
Oh,
no,
yeah,
if you like download like sort like or download like Altmon or
yeah,
PC get, PC put, they store like what drive is selected in RAM, memory location, what
yeah.
track you're on, what sector you're on. I mean, all that stuff.
I think that's what I got to kind of look at. I haven't looked. I've been trying not to. Again, AI has already helped me immensely with just getting started, but I've been trying not to look at somebody else's program per se, because I'm worried that oh, that's great, cut paste, kind of thing. Even though,
Yeah, there you go.
but even though it's, but I'm just trying not to go there. But
that's
But
probably what
yeah.
that's how you learn.
Yeah,
that's probably
that's a good
what
idea.
they did. That's probably what they did when they wrote
Oh,
the program.
yeah.
They just came
Most
in
of
from.
Yeah, most of it. They actually, I think, if you look for was it Altman or one of them, he says where he got it from, like Vector Graphics or
Yeah.
somewhere. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't be so leery of. And again,
Yeah,
like I said, this is never.
people have been copying programs since Ada Lay started making programs for looms.
Yeah, I think if you look at like PC get and put, it says, taken from Ward Christensen's modem program, or I mean, it's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's nice to have a starting point. Again, that's what I did. So okay, that makes me feel better.
yeah.
Probably will start doing that.
I would
Go ahead.
much rather deal with, and especially 5 years from now when you're trying to figure out what you're
yeah.
doing with separate data bytes in a separate data section than pushing and popping crap off the stack.
Hmm.
That's
It's already gotten me confused.
Yeah,
Trust
It's
me. I mean,
hard.
I do have it working, and I have most things working. But it's funny, every now and then I have something working, then I'll go make some other changes in the program, supposedly not related, and next thing I know, that function isn't working right anymore. So I think I have to relook at how I'm doing it. But it's a good learning curve and a lot of fun. I'm
Oh
enjoying
yeah.
it. So and it's something I do in my office too. So
Yeah, but
yeah. So
copying other people's code. That's why I put that in forum that one time. As one little program that can do this job, and then another
yeah.
little program. Say I have 4 or 5 programs that fundamentally do all the jobs that are normally done in the computer. Then somebody like me comes along and go, okay, run this program, and then I'll see if I can add that program to it and make a few changes.
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn. Is you can't,
Yeah.
unless you're an inventor, you're in a new language. You got to just take the knowledge that's there and use it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, so for me, for learning, the thought was again using just Gronk, knowing that it wasn't going to give me anything that's fully functional, and then working fixing that, and that because a lot of stuff I do now with coding at work is break fix, kind of thing. Something's not working. I may not even know what the whole program is fully doing, but I'm good at getting in and finding what's going wrong in finding a solution for that little section, not knowing what was happening, all the other parts of a program. So,
Well,
yeah,
that's also a sign of age too. You can't remember all the details.
I got that one happening. Well, honestly,
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember something 2 seconds later. So it's.
so okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate the input. So do anybody have anything that was really, I mean, the one of the main things I was messing with recently? Anybody have anything they're looking chat about?
Well, I can do an update on Walt's pizza.
Yeah, please.
I had it running with my Kromemco ZPU card for about 5 days solid, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't work again. Didn't change anything, didn't even power it down and power it back up, just reset it, and it was dead. So I swapped over into after thinking about it a little bit and seeing the way it was dead, I put in my front panel and it started working again. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I put my front panel, my mini front panel in instead of Walt's or what. So my next step was, okay, my mini front panel is working now. So I'll try the TDL ZPU board, the board from hell. Couldn't get it to work. It was completely dead. I started looking at it, and the schematic that we all found, as a matter of fact, every schematic that I found so far doesn't match the board.
That makes it hard.
The board,
yeah.
And while looking at it and trying to clean up some solder joints for about the 5th time, I noticed there was this little tiny, thin, very thin jumper between 2 pins on one of the ICs. Oh no, well, it was actually between 1 pin and ground. So I pulled that jumper, and immediately it started doing something. Not the right thing, but it started doing something. So I've spent the next 4 nights trying to figure out what else is wrong with this board, what that jumper did, because it obviously wasn't on the schematic. Matter of fact, the part of the chip wasn't on the schematic at all. It was like one of the inverters, U19, pin 1 to pin 2. Oh no, that's different. That's a resistor I found. Pin 1 was pulled up with a 1K resistor to 5 volts on U19 pin 1. Well, pin 1 U19 does pin 1 of U19. That inverter doesn't exist on the schematic.
They don't use it then?
No, it's not being used. So eventually I figured out, well, that's probably just they're pulling it up to reduce the current or something stupid. So I soldered it back in. Oh, taking it out didn't change anything. So I'm still at the point where it's not working. Now it almost works. It fires up. I was having a problem with after you reset the board, stop it, reset it, examine FF00, sorry. Data bit 6 would come on, which it's not supposed to. So I did some troubleshooting, found a bad socket, replaced that socket, and now data bit 6 is working. So I can go to FF00 and I get 0, 1 for the data properly. But whenever I try to start it running, it doesn't do much of anything. Sometimes it occasionally puts out a character, other times it doesn't. So, and I've tried, what's the other entry point? F8. F8 brings up about half of the monitor on the screen. And then it goes either flying off in deep space or it prints carriage returns forever. So that's kind of where I am. So I've got two things I have to look at. I have to get out the heat gun and make sure Walt's board is working okay, and it's not something related to that caused it just to stop dead. And then I have to figure out what the hell is going on with the board not working right.
Have you
Oh, wow.
have you talked to Jonathan Chapman about the TDL board?
No.
I think he might have schematics and stuff because he said he had like 80 of those boards. He loved them.
Jonathan Chapman?
Yeah,
I don't know him.
he's Glitchworks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was in the S100 forum or that he posted that he thought they were great boards and stuff, and he had bought a whole bunch way back in the day when the company, I guess when the company went out of business, and then people started asking him to sell them boards. But he might have schematics for all the variations of the TDL ZPU.
Yeah, because this board is not the version 1 or 1.1 or whatever. This is like, I think this is revision 0. There's a couple other things like these resistors here. You see there's a resistor going across the other two resistors. I think that's only a pull-up, but I'm not 100% sure exactly what's happening. And it's probably too thin because I missed it the first couple of times. I'm looking for that jumper. Oh, there's the 1K resistor between VCC and pin 1 of
That doesn't get used, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that stupid jumper.
Paul says Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
He's not gonna be able to. He's not gonna be able to make it tonight.
Well, chat him back. The Merry Christmas from all of us.
Yeah, can you see this little red wire here?
Yeah.
That was going across and shorting to this pin, I think.
Okay.
And it's ground. So it was grounding this pin, and that nothing was working when that was connected.
Yeah. You wonder what possesses people to do some of these little bodges like that and then not realize that they made it worse.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was a jumper to disable stuff for the front panel, because this board may not have been in a front panel machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've come across board where you look and things aren't working right. You look and you always find out that one of the pins has been pulled out, so it's not in the socket. You have to look really close to catch something. Oh, okay, there we are. Now we know what they're doing.
It also looked like this trace was cut between here and down here. So I put a little jumper across that, soldered that to make sure. Now I've checked every IC twice with my with the transistor. I mean, with the IC checker, so I know they're all in good shape. And I've pulled each one off the board, and I've even looked like this to see if there are any pins were bent over.
Around, yeah.
And I didn't find anything. So that's the continuing information about this stupid ZPU.
Oh, God.
I think part of it is because I hate this board. And I'm not sure which came first.
The board or the hate?
The board or the hate, yeah.
That's about it.
That's great.
And I've never had one. Oh, okay. This one has a date code of July 4th, 1976.
Wow.
Happy
Independence Day.
yeah,
Etched,
happy Independence Day.
etched right onto it. Now that I've got glasses on, I can actually read it. Oh, what's that say? BODGER? What? No, it says something, but not quite. It looks kind of like Bodger, but not quite.
Oh, great.
So anyway, that's my update this week.
Well,
Do you
Yeah.
have
good effort.
And the fun-
Chapman's email address, Glitchwork?
Yeah, I can probably find it, but
Yeah, it's on his website too. But I can email it to you if you don't have it.
well, I can just Google it. Glitchworks LLC.
Oh.
Oh, that's on Tindy. There it is. Up under construction.
I put it in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I'll just have to get it off the chat.
Yeah, he's got that $500 Altair 8800 I bought off of Craigslist, and he's gonna replace all the wires from the front panel to the back plane and make sure the front panel is actually working correctly. Because those were I found that some of the wires to me looked like they were going to the wrong pins on the back plane.
Yeah.
And I started making changes in that, and I was talking to him, and he says, "Oh, just send it to me." And I told him, I says, "I haven't got a lot of money." He says, "Well, I'll just do it in my spare time. It'll take longer, but I'll get it done and do it at near cost." And he'll get it
cool.
fixed up, and then he's going to pull the power supply out because it's not an original power supply. It's somebody else's hack job that was half bolted in and half not. The capacitors were bolted to the I/O ports on the back and stuff like that. So he's going to remove all that and put in the main wells.
I've got an
there you are.
Altair
Yeah.
that I bought many, many, many years ago that's about the same way. I've got to pull the rest of the power supply out and replace it with the mean wells.
Yeah, my Altair has a different power supply in it too. I have the original. I found it in my dad's garage, but
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's got a different one.
Yeah,
Seems to work okay.
I've noticed when I look at the computers on eBay and that, it's about half of them have different than original power supplies in them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you put more than a half a dozen boards in, the original supply, I think, couldn't hack it too well.
Yeah.
Especially if you put a whole mess of 8K memory boards in.
I think that's one of the things they said. The IMSAI, that's why they bumped up their power supply immensely, so it could handle all those slots and everything, and Oh, okay, that's interesting.
All I got going on is I got Joe's SBC 200 board, so I can see if I can boot SD Systems
I believe it's yours
CPM
now, isn't it?
2. Well, yeah, I suppose so.
Unless if you want to swap back, we can, but
No, we'll just trade them around. I got so I got it to boot from 8-inch, and I got a prompt, and then it spits out about 19 A prompts. But as it turns out, their BIOS uses an interrupt service routine to handle the keyboard input. So I got to figure out how you're supposed to jumper the board and use interrupt mode 2. So it's like a vectored interrupt.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to configure the board right to put the right thing on the bus. I think. I mean, I could modify it to, I think, to switch it to just pull it, but that doesn't sound as fun. I've never really mucked with interrupts before, so good. I wrote a little test program to see what the heck it's doing, and it doesn't seem to be generating interrupts at all. So that's on my list for over Christmas.
Yeah, I mean that board, everything's on there. That I think that's always makes it difficult. It's not like doing something between the bus and where you can actually come in and see what's happening on the bus with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hook a
Yeah,
scope up to it or a logic
it's
analyzer, something
yeah,
to
it's
see
just
what
because
it's
being
actually
you know,
doing.
yeah, being SBC, it was that was one of the things I didn't realize when I first got that one, and even the S100, the S100s, the SBC 100s. That you wouldn't see stuff on the back plane as much as you would think, or
Yeah.
communication kind of thing. So this is all
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, it's really a kind of a smart, I mean, it's a really smart board. It figures out if it's accessing RAM locally or exterior on the
Yeah,
bus and just changes things
yeah,
around the way it needs it to be. And but
yeah.
yeah,
Even
but you
even
can't see what it's doing from the front panel
yeah, and
when
then
it's talking to
even
itself.
even the serial board. I remember it had where you could hit enter a couple times and it figured out the baud rate.
Hmm.
I don't I just remember reading and playing around with that kind of stuff a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
what
think
they
I ended
did
up.
is they receive data to DSR, and then
Yeah,
they wait for the start bit. When you press a key, and then they have a table where they time how long it takes for the start, how long your start bit's there. Then from the table, they figure out what baud rate you're running at.
Yeah.
I tried
yeah,
it. I tried 9600, 4800, 2400. It
yeah,
figures it out.
That's old Walt.
yeah.
I mean, that's the original. What am I trying to say now? I had it. Oh, Ward Christensen
Or yeah.
did that with
Mm.
his mode with his CBBS. He did a
Okay.
couple of carriage returns, and that it checked the timing and it auto baud rated.
It figured it out. Just, huh.
Cool.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's a kind of because I did a bunch of SBC 100 stuff, and I had that, and I had hard coded things, but it has a different clock on the 200, so you can't do that. You actually either need to do what they did and figure it out in real time, or just know you got to change your clock counts depending on whether you're on
Yeah,
the 100 or the 200. And I haven't figured out a way for software to figure out at which one it's on. Just
okay,
programmatically,
yeah,
like am I on a 100 or a 200? I don't know if
yeah.
it's if there's something I can look. I haven't found anything that I can look at to know that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing was the CPU speed was the only thing. I don't know if you can figure that out or not. It's
You
not
know,
really something
I
you
mean,
look at.
it's got a it has one of those Zilog counter timer chips on it that it uses for its interrupts and stuff. So you probably could start a counter, count how long it takes, to for it to count down to from like 5 to 0 or something, and or
Yeah,
how many cycles you do, and then you can figure it out. But
Yeah, one of the CTC chips.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I got to figure how to wire it to do the serial interrupt on receive.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, glad. I mean, you're doing more with it than I would have. I mean, again, I had that originally. That was one of the few working cards I was able to get to that. To get a monitor running on it. And that was a big deal to me. So, but
Yeah,
you'll go much farther than I would have with it.
I've never seen a CPM2 that configures like this one does. It's
Uh,
kind of crazy.
yeah, it's just. Uh, let's see
Well,
what
I'm gonna
else.
I'm gonna have to take off. It's time to go
Okay.
make
Yeah.
dinner.
All right.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Well, have
Terry.
a
No problem.
Merry
Take
Christmas.
Merry
Keep
Merry
up the
Christmas,
Christmas,
good
everybody.
work.
buddy. Take care, buddy. Bye. Uh, oh, let's see. Other thing I had was I have a CompuPro interrupter interface one. It's one of the earlier serial boards,
Uh-huh.
and it just blows the -16 fuse every time I did it.
Oh shoot.
Put it on anything. And again, I was trying. I have not really looked at the schematic. I actually got it printed out, and I'm going to bring it in back up to the house and kind of look through it and that kind of thing. But any suggestions on where to kind of look at something on that? board?
I imagine the 16 would be used for the serial port
Yeah, that's I
only.
figured. Usually it's to do for the 12 volts,
Yeah,
for
the
the
minus 12.
yeah. So so
I'd probably
so that
target the voltage regulator. I don't know. I don't know if it has I don't know what it has.
yeah, I think I don't know if I replaced it or not already on that. Uh I can't remember. I looked at the other thing is some of the capacitors, they look good, but unless you pull them, there's no real way of testing them on the board themselves.
Yeah,
Capacitors are kind of
yeah. You could
so.
probably see if they're shorted, but
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's actually, I think my brother suggested. He said, take a look and just see if the 16 just shorted right to ground or
yeah.
something. Yeah, very basic thing. And then at that point, kind of follow it back to start disconnecting a few things in the way, a couple of capacitors, something, and see if it keeps following to short or something. But
Yeah.
I got to play around with it. It was just yeah, that's the only thing. And that one. Um, it actually on one of the back planes I had, that the one that I've been messing with, it actually blew. I'll say blew the trace. I don't see any burns in it, but from one, on the 9 slot back plane, you have one power connector and you have the one on the other side.
Hmm.
This -16 was no longer going cross. Could not find the break, but that
Really?
board because in back in my office where I was testing it, I don't use my normal glass cheap fuses that I use. I used one of those resettable, almost like for auto, the little resettable things. They have a little gray button that you can hit to reset it on the
Yeah.
end. You ever see them, the little gray things? And that didn't trip. So it actually ran longer than it should have. And,
Oh.
and and next thing I know, I'm not getting -16 across, so I have a bodge wire underneath my thing. There's a story for somebody who gets the board next.
Right.
Why the heck do you do this?
The next
Well,
victim.
so again, that was my very first backplane I ever built. So I don't mind doing that to it, but it's a good place to mess around with. But yeah, so I'm going to be switching from those fuse resettable fuses back to my glass auto fuses, because those are just maybe fast,
Hmm.
um, as opposed to the auto or whatever that or the gray fuse is. I don't know if I have any here or not.
That's one of the things I worried about is you stick a unknown board into your computer, and then the
Yeah.
traces curl up and open up.
Well, so yeah. Right now, I mean, if I get a board and I put it in, I pull everything else out just to protect those boards. But you got to plug it into something.
So what
You
I
know.
do, I do have just another motherboard,
Yeah.
and I hook I put the board in, and then I have a power supply that has it has like the little connectors that go on the motherboard.
Yeah.
So I plug in like the 5 volts and ground, and then I turn my power supply down to like 0 amps. Then I
Okay.
just slowly turn up the amps, a little bit, see what it's
Oh,
doing, and
bench
then I check
supply.
voltages, check for heat,
Yeah.
and then once I
Yeah.
get it up running at 5 volts, I can leave it there a little bit, and then I put it on the 16-volt rail, back do the same thing,
Yeah.
0 amps, crank it up really slow. That's how I do unknown
Yeah.
boards.
Oh yeah.
It's
So that's a bench supply you're using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
I just do one voltage rail at a time.
A time. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of reminds me of when I was reforming the capacitors in one of these motherboards I've been playing with, an XOR motherboard. I call it motherboard, backplane, but it also has the floppy power supply on it as well.
Hmm.
It's like a backplane with all the power supply built right into the board,
Oh, neat.
and that one caused me some havoc. But yeah, I was using the Variac, slowly turning it up a little bit, trying to reform the capacitors. And it's actually fully functional now. That system
Oh,
seems to be
neat.
solid. I haven't put enough boards in and let it run for extended time yet, but that's still to be done. It needs a what does it need? It needs a new cover. It was essentially a metal chassis that had the board mounted in it, and then somebody built a wooden box around it. Walt's, yours are nicer, by the way, but a wooden box around it, uh, and then a top that really doesn't fit. It kind of rests on top. So it's real old school. I'll call it. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, but it's been fun. Again, that's how you learn. So, uh,
Yeah, that's it was probably back in the 90s. I bought a bench supply for a project I
yeah,
was playing with, and it was like $50. And it's just one single output.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nowadays I wish I would have bought the next one up. It was $75 and it had like five outputs that were all controllable. And it was,
yeah,
but at the time I didn't need five outputs. But
yeah.
That would
that
be
would be
handy.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
have, I have, I have.
they
Go ahead.
cost thousands of dollars now to
Oh
get
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. I've been able to pick. I got a couple of dual power supply. So at least you got the two. But um, actually even up in the house. I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing it. I was trying to figure a way of powering that without doing mean wells. I actually ordered the mean wells and I'm gonna go with that. But what I did is you can buy switching power supplies relatively cheap from Amazon with a knob that you adjust. So I had each one at 8, one at 16, one
Hmm.
at 16, and then I had them wired. But I'm worried when they turn on, because all three of them are all plugged into the same, you know, plug kind of thing. When they turn on, they don't seem to come up at the same rate and the same speed. I'm not sure what that's doing to the back plane and to the boards in it. It's kind of worrying me that it.
I don't think my Meanwells do either. I just kind of noticed the LEDs come on
Yeah,
differently.
different times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking actually. I think I might be wrong, but maybe the S100 bus and those cars are kind of more resilient to kind of handle that. Hey, things really aren't coming up the same because you end up having to reset everything anyways.
Yeah,
You know.
I was mostly concerned with the 8080 because it uses all the voltages,
Yeah.
to do its thing. I figured the typically, your plus and minus 16 are used for your R232 drivers or something, so I don't
Yeah.
think they care. Um, yeah, but the 8080 was
Yeah.
always like, man, I hope that's okay. But I've never had a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So again, these are I think you've seen before. They're little black boxes, a little knob on it, and little digital display. Comes off to a basic barrel connector, and then I just have those wired into the connector, through fuses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and again, yeah, right now, I think next I would, if I was going to keep them, I think they have tabs where I can screw them to a board and kind of make them so they aren't moving and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It fits nice in the desk area that I have up in the office. So
Yeah, it'd be
uh,
scary to have power supplies wiggling around inside your computer.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is just a wide open chassis. I used
Yeah.
actually, yeah, down here I have your rails wall for doing the cards. Up there I printed out Tim's rails. He had the high rails. I figured I'd try a set of those, and those work pretty decent too. But both of them are. I think Tim said he likes yours better because he likes the lower profile rails when he's doing on a a test platform.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think my
Well,
next
that's what
motherboard
I
too.
made about.
I'm gonna extend the power LED up high and make it flash or something. I mean, I haven't yanked a board out or shoved a board
Yeah,
in yet with the power on, but man, I've almost done it a couple times. Just go to
they're
yank the
hidden.
board
Yeah,
out and like wait, because I don't see
uh,
I usually can't see the front of my computer.
yeah. Oh
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Well,
I
see,
want like a nice blinking light. Hey, tell
yeah.
me power's on.
Yeah,
that's why I have the
something out
external.
front. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I have those
Yeah,
external AC switches. So I go if I as soon as I open before I even pull the lid on the computer, I make sure that switch is turned off.
yeah,
AC is just cut off completely.
Yeah, because with the Altair to work on a board, your front panel's over here and you're looking this way.
Yeah.
yeah,
So usually it's like
yeah,
if I'm down in here doing stuff and it's like, oh, I gotta do this and oh, gotta remember to look and make sure
yeah.
my pa-
I actually did burn a card once. I won't call it my fault. It was I have a Kremenko Z2 that I reformed the capacitors. And I was all really proud of that, and I got it all working, and voltages were great. And then so I plugged in a card. Um, Everything looked good. I turned it off. I gave it a few seconds, pulled the card, and sparks, and it
oh
actually burned everything. And what it was after re-examining everything, pulling back out the power supply, I didn't realize that they pulled all the bleeding resistors off. They had no bleeding resistors across the capacitors, so they never drained, or they took forever to actually bleed off.
Right.
So there was still power on the rail, even though it was turned off for
Right.
a minute or so.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I obviously installed the bleeders on there, and that now I know. And of course, I also threw in they have that card, something that just has power lights. John has a card that raises the board up, so you can work on a board sticking out of the top of the case. He has that card, but it has power lights on the top left, so you can
Right.
I put that board into
his
that
extender
chassis.
board.
Yeah, his extender board has the power lights up on the top left, so I put that board in so I could see if there's still power on the rails. So that works well.
Yeah, the 2SAOR1, it's got the transmit lights.
Yes, yeah.
But it also, the receive lights stay on when the computer's off, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, if especially if I absolutely. I have that happens up at my bench right now. I have one of your cards in the back, and the red lights are always on there. The receive lights, because it's wired into a Linux box that's running and it's putting power onto the the line. So it's a little different.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of a way to have those not come on if the power's off. Either through a relay, I don't know what.
That just lets you know it's connected.
Yeah, but I don't like having lights on my computer when I'm working on it, because I'm thinking, is my power on or off?
Yeah. Well, for me is when I leave the garage, I turn off the lights in the garage and then look for lights.
Yeah.
Anything left on. And yeah, all the RS-232 stuff is all still lit up. It's like, oh god, okay. Did I leave that going? Yeah, trust me, I've left things on. I've left the soldering iron on once. It was in sleep mode, thank God. Things like that. But yeah, so
yeah, my soldering iron turns itself off. If it's not working, I don't know if it's movement or if it just realizes that the temperature hasn't got up or down.
Yeah.
From soldering,
I think I have another one
off.
Yeah, I think I have another one that turns off. Yeah, I've heard my desoldering pump. I've come down in the morning. It's like, what does that sound? Oh my gosh, left it on all night.
Oh, great. Yeah. Now I have it was a Hako. My brother, he collected a bunch of different soldering, so he gave me a choice of a few things. So I have these Hako 951s. I have one here and one up in the office. They go to sleep mode, which is what it has a little spring, and it detects it in the holder. And I actually love them. Nice small little unit, and they work great. Before that I had an old realistic.
Mine's the K-Tronic, and it's the same thing.
Oh, there you are.
And
yeah,
that's why I say it might be a sensor that senses the heat changes while you're working. And when it doesn't change anymore, after like 15 minutes, it just goes into sleep mode, and it runs it down to like 100 volts or something like that. I mean, 100 degrees. So it heat up again really quick. But
yeah, I just didn't like that I left on and sleep overnight. It bothered me, but mine is it's actually physical. On the Haku, you actually take an audio cable, like if you're running it from a PC to a speaker or some of those little, stereo audio cables, and that's what it uses to communicate. And there's a little spring and a sensor. Yeah, a little thing, just simple. Technology works well. I mean, again, but I just scare myself when I found that. It's like, oh, geez. So it's.
I'm pretty
good at stuff.
I'm pretty good at turning everything off that makes heat, because Pancho likes to get all over the place in the apartment.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
The only place he doesn't go is the kitchen stove.
Oh,
he'll go on top of the refrigerator and onto the kitchen sink and stuff. But he likes to throw everything on the floor. That's his thing.
Well, he knows you're going to clean up after him.
Oh yeah, he loves watching me vacuum, and the thing is, it's scary to him, and so I'll go towards him with the vacuum hose. I have a shop vac that I use, and I'll go at him, and he starts screaming and stuff, but he sticks his toe towards the hole and then pulls it back real fast. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, my dog doesn't like the vacuum. He attacks it, and oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's not happy with it at all.
Well, Pancho likes to battle with things, like in the evening, I lay it in bed and he's fighting with my fingers and stuff for an hour or so.
Yeah.
But
It's
Patrick, I got that updated KiCAD sketch from you.
And did it work better?
Yeah, and now the one you sent has the RS-232 connector
Uh-huh.
correctly installed. Because I tried, I when I couldn't get it to the footprint to work, then I thought, okay, I'll just put the footprint on the board and run the wires, because I only had like 3 wires to go that I was going to route on the bottom of the board. But I found out that KiCAD won't. Well, first of all, I couldn't figure out how to get uh, to the make traces on the bottom of the board. The
Oh.
instructions say hit B and it goes to bottom, but that's not true. Not in KiCAD 9. I hit B and I can't, I tried before I tried to do the trace, after I started the
I
trace.
I thought you just turn off the levels and just have like the B level there, or the back, and then you should draw on there.
Well, the
You draw your
instructions
lines.
said that when you want to do a bottom level trace, hit the B key.
Huh.
And it
I
didn't
Okay.
tried
say
that.
before or after, but I tried it before and after I started trying to do traces, and I never got to the bottom.
Oh,
And when it
yeah.
comes to another trace, it just won't go any farther. It just wiggles left and right.
Yeah, I was just make sure I was visible on which level I was drawing on. I think it was one of the. I think that's what it was. It was so long ago when I
Well,
played
B
around with
would
that.
be changing levels,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I understand.
but that didn't work on my KiCad.
Yeah,
And
No,
it,
B
and
doesn't. I don't know what B does. But
yeah.
did you figure it out?
no, I haven't.
Oh, well, here, hang on.
That's one of the things, that's like the last thing I need to finish this board. Once this board is done, then I can make slight modifications to the board, just moving a couple of the wires around to match other boards.
Oops, I gotta move that. Well, I'll show you how I do it. So on the top right here, where your layers are,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see how I have the little caret next to red?
okay.
So I'm working on. So that means I have the front copper layer selected. If I do this,
Okay,
now
then
you've
Yeah.
selected the blue.
bottom. Okay.
Yes. So now
Yeah,
if I
that's
just if I do a wire, oops. Now if I do a wire, well, I can't get there from here, but now you're on the blue layer. Here we go.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Maybe I didn't describe it right. I know by selecting the little, I said B, but selecting the layer,
Okay,
that's how I was
see,
able to draw
and
stuff.
that's where the instructions are screwed up, because it says type of B.
Maybe B to me typing does. I don't know.
Well,
I always
that
just
didn't
clicked
work.
it.
That didn't work.
I don't know where.
In my eyesight, I didn't notice
Where'd that one
Yeah.
go?
notice that the far right is the layers.
Oh, that one goes to that same place. So this is another one. Do you know about the back tick key?
The what?
The underneath your tilde on the top left, the sort of the back apostrophe
Yeah, it's a little.
key.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you select like the number 2 pin here,
Yeah.
if you click that back tick, it's going to highlight the whole net for you.
Oh,
So if you
that's
want to see
nice.
where like a net where all these connections go, you can click your backspace key.
Oh,
Okay,
I
that's
didn't know
handy.
that. That's helpful.
Yeah, I use that all the time.
Yeah, I was clicking on some things and a little message box popped up and said, "Do you want all or just something?" And I'd click all, and then it would link everything in that little section that was touching each other. But it didn't highlight the whole trace everywhere.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that back tick one that just shows you where everything goes.
Right, yeah, that's handy.
So you actually press you highlight something, then press the back tick. Okay.
Yeah, so like you can highlight, this
So that's a
pin.
shift
Yeah.
tilde.
Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
no, you don't do the tilde. You just without the shift. You just do the back tick.
Back tick. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
just highlight
I gotta start
anything,
playing with that again.
and it'll
It's
tell
cool.
you where it goes.
well, on my keyboard, I got to do a shift to get that back thing.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm on a
Yeah.
Mac, so mine. I got to do shift to get a tilde, and I don't do a
Okay.
shift to get a back tick.
Okay, that's the
Let's see.
opposite of the PC or
I
Windows
actually
keyboard.
actually
Yeah,
don't know.
but I'm not sure
Let's see here.
what the B key does.
Well,
Oh, there it is.
that's what it
B
was in.
B is fill all zones.
Okay, so in those instructions I was reading, it says go to B, and then it had in real fine print underneath it. It said B_C something or other.
Yeah.
I guess
On my
that's
Linux.
yeah,
Okay.
CU.
Yeah, there's a way to get to the back of the board. But you can do it here too, apparently. You can just select which layer you're on up here. I never even seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are multiple ways of doing it.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to Eagle and Easy EDA because both of those were real simple to, you just hit a key and you're on the back doing the backplane work.
Yeah, I remember there was like I just started looking at nine myself. I thought View used to have switch to back.
I know I've run into problems when you're bringing in somebody else's KiCAD type thing. They give you the files, and it's an older version. It doesn't seem to bring everything in at that point. You're missing stuff is what I'm finding.
They're supposedly getting better at doing that with the newer
Okay.
versions. But
Yeah, I have, like I said, I have a KiCad 7 folder, a KiCad 8 folder, a KiCad 9
Yeah.
folder, and
So you pretty much when you start a project KiCad 7, you're sticking with it. You're not trying to
yeah.
migrate it to 8 or 9 or 10. Okay.
Yeah, I mean I will eventually, but I just don't.
yeah, that's a problem
Yeah, there
John
used to be a
Monahan's had
way
because he
back.
keeps
Yeah.
doing the updates and then he can't get the old stuff in.
Yeah, so Walt, the other thing you can do with like if you have the back layer selected, yeah, I don't know if you play with the little eyeballs here,
Yeah.
but you can
Oh
just
yeah.
you can unclick an eyeball now, it'll just hide
Oh,
the front
hides
upper
your
layer.
right. Oh,
So
that's
it's like
cool.
not in your way, or if you're working on the front, you can get rid of the back ones or get rid of whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see,
Anything that's distracting.
yeah. Well, you know what? That's another. I sent you an email. It says it would be great to make a video, even if you do it in little bits at a time, and then
Yeah.
edit it into one big video that's maybe 15 to 30 minutes long, going from a blank slate to making about a 4-inch by 4-inch board, putting a couple components, importing a symbol, importing a footprint, and like this, selecting back the bottom or the top and hiding the bottom and top, stuff like that. Just things that get somebody started because I don't know how many videos I looked at online, and those guys, it's like they're learning it on as they're trying to teach it. They're clicking all over the place all the time.
Yeah, I mean I'm hardly a KiCad, I don't even know what it is,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
expert, but I can just show what I've learned so far. I'm
Yeah.
actually making a new S100 template
Oh, cool.
that I've been working on, trying some new stuff.
Nice.
That's it.
Well,
What's
This
that?
is the
Oh, that's a sound something.
this is the SoundGen board.
Okay. Oh, was that like a hat?
Yeah, it's on a Arduino Uno.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is replace the Uno with that board that I've been designing, so I
Uh-huh.
can just connect an RS-232 and plug in. I still got to add a barrel jack and a regulator for a power supply, and then I don't have to have the Uno in there. I can just plug it into my Altair and run it through from the serial port.
And I noticed you had an ESP32 on your schematic. Is that what a Uno is?
No,
Oh, those are AT 280 something megas, isn't there something like that?
it's a 382.
382, sorry.
Yeah,
The
it's a
328. 328?
328. Yeah,
Yeah.
328P chip.
Yeah, that's what when I did my little digital clock, that's I started off with a Uno, and then I went to a Nano, and then I realized that I could just pull if you get an Uno with you literally just pull that chip out and just wire it up yourself. You don't need anything around it. Because of course his has a modern that looks like a modern Uno where it has the surface mounted one, but they have
Right,
the older
yeah.
ones with the regular IC thing. Great little chips to play with. I had a lot of fun with it.
Well, I was wondering what the ESP32S3 is on your schematic.
Oh, I think that's because I used the schematic came from somebody else's had made the schematic and board for the what do you call it? The initial blank board. I think he pulled something else apart and just kept all this stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why it's got all that. But see, here's a regular Uno with
Yeah, that's yeah,
328.
those.
Let me get
I
my
have a lot of cloned versions of those because I'm cheap.
yeah, I got about 10 of them.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of fun with those. Not recently. I've been doing other things, but yeah,
I don't
that
think
stuff's
you
great.
can't read the
The
chip.
C programming is easy.
Well, I don't see program. I barely do M basic right now. But see,
no,
I
yeah,
got this is
the
another
program
one
of
of those
those.
boards. This
Yeah,
one, oh, let me get this slide again. This board is oh, that's an SC01
yeah.
chip on it. And this one is the SoundGen chip, which I think is yeah, if I turn it this way, you might be able to read SoundGen. And he's got a couple, but this guy, Scott Savage, he makes these little red boards. They're a little pricey on eBay, but they're supposed to be so you can play around and do speech stuff with your well, with whatever project you're working on.
Interesting.
But since I don't do C and he doesn't supply anything but
No,
basically
no
yeah,
sample code or
basically all
anything.
it does is go A-E-I-O-U 1, 2, 3, 4. It just makes a bunch of noises. And then it's up to you to figure out how to write a C program to do anything else. So I
Interesting.
figured, okay,
He's not giving you the sample code to do the AEIOU, so you know where to start off with.
well,
Then
yeah. You get the program if you buy the board, you get the program that gets you
well,
started. But like I
okay,
said,
yeah, okay.
yeah, I tried feeding it to I tried feeding the programs to ChatGTP, and ChatGTP says there's no way to translate what C is doing into BASIC because the C commands are way beyond what BASIC can do. But I'm going like, but to drive these chips is
I wouldn't agree with that, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
that's the answer I got from
I
ChatGTP.
mean this, yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably worth spend a little time learning. I mean, the Arduino C isn't too bad. I mean, I'm no C expert. I'm mediocre at it, but it's. I mean, I've been able to program, like I said, program my little digital clock with it and everything, and works well.
Yeah, I have
I have
this
three.
other board. This one's got an SP0256 AL2 on it.
Yeah.
And I've got a large dictionary for this too, but the thing is I've played with these chips by themselves in the past, so I have a few of them in my drawers. but I thought these little boards are kind of nice because it has the audio amplifier, which is nice and loud on it. And
Yeah.
that, so I figured, okay, well, I'll get a couple of these boards and just play with them that way.
Ah,
Then I decided I should probably learn a little bit more about KiCAD and so I figured, okay, this is a good starting place. Make this board so I can just run an RS-232 from my Altair over to one of these things. And like I says, because it's just where the pins go to the chip on the board is a little bit different from one board to the next. So once I
yeah.
have one shield made, I can make one for the SoundGen, one for the SoundGen Z, one for the SCO 256,
Interesting.
another one for the Votrex chip, stuff like that. He sells I don't know if he might be out of most of the chips other than SoundGen and
They
maybe
seem those
speech
speech
chip.
chips seem to disappear after a while. They're getting harder and harder to find, right?
Well, he manufactures them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, the demand for like SpeakJet has almost died off. So the guy, his partner in Georgia, still makes them for Atari, and
Yeah.
so I got a tube of them from him one time.
Interesting. Patrick, you mentioned you were doing an S100 template. Is that essentially like KiCad? I've always looked for, and I haven't really found one, an S100 board with the bus that I can start off with, and then draw up from the bus, put it into the buffers, and and draw up the power and put it through
Yeah,
the regulators and stuff that build out. Is that what you're gonna
yeah.
work towards?
Yeah. Walt, I think Walt sent me one, and I just didn't like it because it wasn't really S100. It was IEEE 969. I just don't want all that other junk on
Well,
there.
see, and
Yeah.
there's two of those templates on the S100 site, and they don't say that they're IEEE. They just say they're S100 templates.
I was just looking for a something simple because one of the things, I think we talked about way back when was a board that you can, essentially test the lines through your bus, something on one end,
Yeah,
something on the other, and just send data through. And the tough part was it wasn't tough, trying to figure out how to do it. It was designing a board that I couldn't get something that would actually, in the end, I would have a board, the right footprint, and I forgot what the term they use for the outer framework.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you
So I think
know,
I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do one that's just the board with the
yeah,
edge connector. Then
yeah,
I think I'm gonna do another one that has the buffers already on it, probably 5 volt
yeah,
power and on all that stuff. And then just use that as a template when I
yeah.
start.
I know. I know. I bought off of John's site. I think from Todd, a board that pretty much has all the sockets for the
Hmm.
buffers, and then it has just a big old top area for soldering. Prototyping type board.
Yeah.
I've always thought of just taking and double stick taping some breadboards on it.
Yeah, someone just made another board like that. It's really tall, and it's made
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sticking breadboards on. That
Okay.
Yeah.
you know what? I'll throw one in when I send you the other board. I think I bought 5 of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you can, that
Yeah, and I think I had JLC PCB put the sockets in for me too, because
Yeah.
I don't like I'm not a big fan of soldering.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Well, if the board you sent me was soldered beautifully. If you did that one, that
I
looked great.
I
I
did.
look at the solder. Not that I'm a solder critic because I'm pretty mediocre at it, but
Yeah, well, double
uh,
check it.
Yeah,
well, I'll look for sparks and smoke. I mean, what is that?
when
Go ahead, Walt.
probably 2 years ago now, maybe even longer, I asked if they could come up with a simple serial board with one serial port and an area above, like a breadboard area above, where we could plug in stuff and then just make jumpers over
Hmm.
to the serial port to control different things. And my
Yeah,
idea was, I wanted to put a SpeakJet chip on there and a little amplifier and make a SpeakJet board, and then do another one with like those Pololu servo controllers and tick
Yeah,
controllers.
yeah.
And so John Monahan says, "Oh, I can do that." And then he came out with this 3P plus S2 board. It's got so much crap on there, you can't figure out how to use it. I go like, it's too complicated. People like me have no idea how to use that board and how to make. And I says, like he had a whole bunch of things that said like B1 and it was like 10 pins, and then B2, 10 pins, and B3, 10. I go, what the hell are those? Oh, that's for doing testing and, with your logic analyzers and stuff. And I go, like, I don't have a logic analyzer. I just want a simple serial board with one port and says, here's transmit, here's receive, here's +5, and here's ground. That's all the board needs. And then the rest of it can be breadboard. But he couldn't do it. He had to populate the whole board because he says it's a waste of real estate.
I think what would be awesome is a breadboard with solder pins. Because like we were talking about doing like that I/O board where you can like just I want to say my transmit here, my receive there, I want my status here, I want this there, I want that there.
Yeah.
But these boards, you have jumpers, but there's no. And you look at like these other boards, and let's say solder a wire from here to here, and solder a wire from here to here. I don't know why there isn't like something that you can just jumper things and have it last a long time and move it around all you want on like a PCB. But I haven't found anything.
Well, these are the
Yeah, no,
tolerance.
I'll even say I was like even if you're doing the breadboards, the little jumpers tend to get loose after a
Yeah, they
while.
get
They
loose.
fall off, and I've done stuff, put it into a nice safe in a little container, came out, and it's just like a rat's nest, you know.
Yeah.
So I would like something. I think the only thing I could think of is wire wrapping, and I've heard of it. I've never done it. My brother
Yeah.
says he has a wire wrap gun, but that might be something to learn. If you got a board that's populated with wire wrap sockets or wire wrap things, you might be able to do stuff. But I
Nah,
don't know. I've never done
you
it.
don't want to go with the wire wrap way because
Again,
you end up with a rat's nest. And if you
yeah,
have to do any
and then you want to
repair,
undo it. I just want to be able to just like a breadboard, just pull it out, and
Yeah,
stick it back in.
see these mail headers.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, just have a big breadboard area, and for one project, you just put the mail headers in. You just break them off to the length you need, put them in the board, you make your
yeah.
project. And if
So,
you want
so
to,
that. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, well, the thing is, you can get 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch, 2 foot long jumper wires.
Yeah,
They're called DuPont jumper wires. So you can get the little 1 inch. You go from one pin to the next pin to do your wiring, and if you put it in place, and those DuPont connectors work great with these pins. They don't work. What doesn't work good are these things.
yeah.
This
That's
is
yeah,
these
I
things.
know.
Yeah, because the shape of the thing inside is like a little Y, and the pin goes in there. But after a while, they
Yeah.
get
yeah,
loose in there. But
yeah.
these things, as long as you don't break the pin off and
So
use
so
the DuPont connectors.
yeah. The prototype board, I think again I got it from Todd. That's what I ended up doing is all 100 pins were essentially I put headers across, just like similar to what you had, maybe shorter though, across the bottom. It was soldering in 100 headers, but no big deal. That wasn't
Oh
too
yeah,
bad.
it's
And so essentially I have the bus right there, and I can test all the all the stuff that's hitting it, and then I never actually double stick taped the board or did anything beyond that. I was starting to play with it, and
yeah.
so
Well, the thing is,
I think that's the way to do it.
most of the little
yeah,
projects and kits you get online all set up with the 2.4 spacing on the pins. See, like these
yeah,
boards,
Yeah.
yeah,
same thing. So you as long as you get the spacing the same on breadboard area, then you just plug your little project in and off you go.